were caught stealing at the Margherita d'Este, which is in Via Giorgione supermarket at Brescia. They were caught red-handed stealing some menswear at Oviese. The two were immediately arrested and handed over to the police. They are identified as an 18-year-old Bresciano and a 17-year-old Ghanaian Italian. The two young men had tried to get away with clothes worth just 20 euros, but were stopped by security personnel, who then called the police. The shocking incident happened in the middle of the night at Vicenza, where police caught a 10-year-old Ghanaian child in pajamas and slippers smashing the glass windows of a toy store to steal. The child was caught smashing the window to take the coveted toy of his desire, which had always been denied by his parents. In fact, he was so generous that he stole another one for his little sister. The call that led to the 133 police intervention came shortly after midnight by a worried citizen who reported of seeing someone smashing a toy shop. But after the police had intervened, they discovered the boy hidden in a bush. But the puzzle was how a 10-year-old boy could be around alone so late in the night at the tender age. He was caught wearing only pajamas and a jacket. His mother and father, who are legal residents and loyal workers and who were sleeping peacefully, had the shock of their lives and a hard time believing the story the police told them. They affirmed confidently that they thought their son was in bed sleeping. It is believed that the child had waited for the parents to go sleep so that he would sneak out of bed and get to that store that had so fascinated him. He took a stone and hit up to make a hole to enable him enter into the electronic shop and steal the game. The boy, who took to his feet, was not fast enough, and the police immediately laid hands on him. A Ghanaian child has been hit in the head by a TV. The father works as a volunteer at the Casa a Colori, Scalabrini. The child is now in coma after the television set fell on her head. The 11-month-old girl, M.A., who lives with her parents in San Zenone degli Ezzelini in the province of Rainati, was immediately rushed to the Treviso hospital and is now in coma after incurring serious injuries. Investigations are underway to ascertain the cause of the fall of the television which hit the little girl's head. The girl's father, A.A., 31 years old, works as a volunteer for the Bassano Casa Colori Association, and neighbors say that his presence and work is very much appreciated. The dramatic episode happened yesterday morning just before 10 a.m. when the distressed voice of the father echoed through his phone call to the 118 unit of Crespano, who immediately rushed to the scene together with their head, Dr. Aurelio Tomasi. The health workers said that they could see the desperate father afar off with his baby in his arms on the street waiting for help. Dr. Tommaso, who sensed the seriousness of the condition of the child, alerted the helicopter ambulance, which transported the little girl, who was already in coma, to the hospital. At the bedside of the little girl was her mother and father. The news of the tragedy soon reached Bassano Scalabrini in Via di Borgo Angarano, where the Casa Colori Association, which follows the insertion of immigrants, is based. Little Ralph could not make it. The Ghanaian-born child died in the night between Sunday and Monday at the San Geraldo Hospital in Monza after 3 months of agony. The spoonful of soup that was given to him had obstructed the trachea. A few hours before the tragedy, it was reported that a 4-year-old had also died at Naples after being suffocated by a mouthful of mozzarella. This is a similar fate that happened to Ralph. He was just 3 years old and his death happened so painfully. It was just before Christmas, while their mother was feeding him with soup, that she noticed that her son was suffocating. She was then told at the hospital that the soup had obstructed his trachea. The family who reside in Brescia immediately alerted the 118 unit. He was then rushed to the hospital by an ambulance. He was taken to the pediatric ICU department of the Brescia Civile Hospital and then after a while transferred to a specialist center at Monza. There was nothing to do to save the life of little Ralph. An autopsy was done on his little body yesterday. According to the local newspaper Brescia Oggi, the Brescia prosecutors have opened an investigation against the mother, and now she is being investigated for manslaughter. The public administrator also wants to determine whether the cause of the tragedy may have been the negligence or recklessness behavior of the mother whilst feeding her son with the soup. Ralph's body will be laid to rest in Ghana after the funeral here in Italy. Reggio Emilia. A 3-month-old Ghanaian baby was rushed to the hospital of Santa Maria Nuova at Reggio Emilia after bleeding intensely whilst being circumcised at home. Her parents, originally from Ghana, are under investigation for serious injury. The physician, Ewanzam, who also seemed to have been flown over from Ghana for the surgery, is also under investigation. Emergency doctors found that the child's foreskin had been thoroughly removed because this is what is done in Ghana. The little baby has been given a 20-day recovery prognosis. This happened barely a month ago, Answer said. A Ghanaian who lives at Modena with his mother and father has been accused of child molestation and for committing sexual acts with a child of 6 years. The little girl happened to be his own half-sister. The 21-year-old man, who is now in prison, was arrested by the Modena police. It all began when the school teachers of the little girl began to suspect the molestation and consequently alert the police. A 32-year-old Ghanaian man has been arrested at Pozzuoli, Naples by police on charges of sexual assault. The suspect is said to have assaulted a 39-year-old Italian woman at her backyard. The police disclosed that the man had long courted the victim, but to no avail. The accused, who could no more accept the rejection of his advances, angrily assaulted the woman. He jumped on the woman and forced her to have sexual intercourse with him, but she started to scream, calling the attention of the neighbors. 2 people attended to her rescue and put the Ghanaian man to flight. The victim was taken to hospital to be cured, whilst the man was taken to the Peggio Reale prisons. Discover the key to living out the dreams of your heart in this riveting masterpiece by author William Gabienu, Grabbing Your Destiny by the Horns.
It is God inspired.
And the title for the book itself, Grabbing Your Destiny by the Horns.
Yeah.
Wow. How were you inspired to? This book unveils to you your uniqueness and tremendous strength and abilities as an individual, and exposes you to the blueprints you require to start living out your dreams and purpose for life. William Gabiano is a highly sought after and respected Christian educator, as well as a motivational speaker, who strongly believes that God has a wonderful plan for all he has created, and this forms an integral part of his ministry and message. Mr. Gabiano says that it is his desire that people everywhere will live out their God-given lives fully. Speaking to the GHANAINS, Mr. Gabiano said that since its release, the 101-page book has already sold more than 1,000 copies. The book has been praised by readers and critics alike, and now it looks set to become this year's bestseller in its genre.
I think there is God in it. God is in it. And everyone who looks at the title always get back to me, and it's like their words are words that really, really encourage me a lot.
Finding your place in destiny. Mr. Gabiano said that he hopes that the book would inspire people to fulfill their dreams no matter their estate in life. Remarkably, the church leader has more than 3,000 friends on Facebook and hundreds of followers on Twitter and much subscribers on his YouTube TV channel. Life-changing and empowering chapters in his book include Marked for the Ultimate, Understanding Your Inner Cry, The Strength of Desire, Stay With It and Press On, Dream Poisonous, Brazen Up for Your Destiny, Be a Better Person, Developing a Kingly Heart for Greatness, Stepping into Blessedness, and Seeking Out Your World. The book, which was published by Author House in the UK and launched last year, is available in all leading Christian bookstores. You can also contact the author on his Facebook page, that's www.facebook.com/William Gabiano.
What I try to put into this book is to go back to God. Go back to the reason why he created us. And in that we find the purpose of our lives.
Was this book written for?
With eyes for all, everyone together, you are my dream. Così, NAC,
così, what you want, così, young via, così, black and white, così, qui con noi, così, qui per voi, così.
The Ghana Daily News Network, our world, our stories from our perspective. Your monthly newspaper, the Ghana Daily News Network, from Ghana Muntie News